Hello traders. Today we keep talking about settings and our current topic is POIs. So let's get started. First of all, I wanna tell you what POI is. POI could be either structural formation or order blocks. By structural formation it could be either mitigation block or breaker block. Let's draw some examples so that you understand. Let's say you have a structure, regardless of whether it's internal structure or swing structure or it's internal structure. It doesn't matter. So as you see here, you have a confirmation and it creates mitigation block. So that could be as a POI for our system. Then, for example, you have another continuation that created this mitigation block. It's also mitigation block. Then you have a reversal, and let's just finish it. So this reversal also creates POI here, and as you see, you have a boss line here, and all this area creates a POI, which is breaker block. So the difference between breaker block and mitigation, breaker block grabs some liquidity, as you see here. Breaker block grabs liquidity from the previous swing. And here, as you see, mitigation block doesn't do anything. So it's just like making a pullback to the previous point, just continues its move. So that's the main difference. So both of those structural formations could be POI for MarkTools system. Then another kind of POIs are order blocks. They don't have to be really structural formations. It's all based on candles. We have two types of order blocks, which are based on wicks or based on candles itself. So based on wicks, it supposes that you have a wick that grabs some liquidity or it just tested some imbalance. This zone created here is order block based on wicks, but the system tries to market it with the whole body. So as you see, here you have full range from the start of the body and ends on the very tip of wick. If the price, just a second, if the price, for example, reaches this level, meaning wick zone, it hides this block, so that you just have only one that is based on pure wick. So it just tries to refine it in order not to mess up your charts. So it's a first kind of order blocks that are based on wicks that could be either by body or if the price tests the wick zone, then it just shows the wick zone. And the second one is when your price action grabs some liquidity by body, so it's called the rate, or it just tests imbalance with it. So in this particular case, it creates order block based on this wick. So from the start of the body to the very extremum of this range. And the next criteria to form this order block, you have to have candle that engulfs this candle that grab liquidity or tested order block. In this particular case, you can see that the low level of this zone is this price level, so this candle should be closed below this level, and this forms your order block. Okay, if we take a look at our examples, you could see, for example, here is order block, which is based on this candle that grabs some liquidity. And as you see, this black candle engulfed this green candle one, and by that it created liquidity. And extremum of this range is the high of this order block. And then another example, again, you have a this black candle that grab liquidity somewhere in the history, and you have this second candle that engulfed this candle. And examples of our mitigations and breakers. Let's say you see mitigation block here. So it's based on this structural formation. Boom. Another breaker block. You could see that it's with its body of the structural formation. It grabbed previous liquidity, so it's treated as a breaker block. And it appears to be a POI in our system. So many of us use FVG also as a POIs, but in terms of MarkTools concept, it's a little bit different story, but still you can use it and consider it as a POI. But it's all about alerts, so we'll be talking about this later. So just skip it for now and assume that our POIs, which are point of interest, only structural formation or order blocks. It might happen that on your charts you might have POIs inside other POIs. So it's like refined version of general POI. Let's say you have this structural formation. Inside this structural formation, you have this definition, which is order block. So system is able to show both POIs at the same time, and it lets you choose which one to show, or to show both, or to show either of them. I'll show in a bit how to adjust it. Okay, so let's go to the settings. In the settings under the tools section, you could find POI sections. And as you see, you have three classifications of POI here, like last boss, last POIs, and all POIs. So let's talk about them first. And last POIs, it's the most recent POIs in each direction. For example, for the bearish direction, the last POI is this one. So now no other POIs you have, particularly for this direction. For bullish direction, you have this POI. So it's the most recent POI that has any reaction from. And then you have last boss. Last boss, it's the most recent boss, regardless whether it's internal structure or it's a swing structure. In our particular case, we could see that this formation is our last boss. And then old POIs. Old POIs, it's whatever precedes your last POIs. Just take a look. You have this for bearish as a last POI. Yes, it's a last boss, but it's also a last POI too. And before we have this POI that precede this POI. And this is old POI. This is also old POI. And so on and so forth. For the bearish, or for the bullish, sorry. For the bullish, you have the same picture. So you have the last POI, then the one that precedes it. This one order block, it's the old POI. You have another small order block here that's also the old POI. And in terms of classification, you could adjust the styling for them separately. And let's take a look at styles, what they have. First most interesting one is extension. So it's how your POI are stretched. Let me just zoom it in a little bit so that you can clearly see what it's all about. Let's just focus on old POIs and it would be clear. Extending by test. It means that POI is stretched to the most recent test price. So let's say I just want to get rid of this, and you see that this particular POI is tested by this pivot. So if I activate test, it stretches up to this pivot. This particular order block is tested by this pivot, so that it stretched it right to this pivot. Also, you could specify for the start, stretches it to the next POI by time. So in this particular case, after this POI, you have this POI and it's stretched right here. Then the end. The end is stretched to the end of the next POI, and real-time bar or RT bar, it just stretched all the way to the real-time bar, which is the last one. And no means no stretching at all. So as you see, POIs are not stretched. Okay, let me have it default settings here. And also, as far as old POI goes, we have parameter max that specifies how many old POIs we have to show for our analysis. So by default you have 2, but you can increase it to up to all the way to the 6. All the way to the 6. Okay, you can see that it shows here, 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 and like maximum 6, and here also. So we'd be able to see all the POIs that goes deep in the history. Okay. Let me use 2. Okay, and we have definition settings. It's how your refined zone are displayed. I don't like this one. Let me, for the great example, let me choose 12 hours. Oh, nice. So if we set refined version, you could see that it shows only refined version of our POI. Original means it shows only original POIs. So you could adjust it in a way you want to, but usually I guess you want to see both of them, so that's why you have it both. So that's why you have both by default. Also, there is a style settings that allows you to change the style of your POI. Let's say you don't want to see them as a rectangle, so you can set them as a line style. Using parameter labeling, you can adjust the way your labeling is drawn here. Let's say you want to align them by center, or you want to align them by the left. So whatever preferences you have. Hopefully everything is clear with that. Also, you have special flags for your labelings. You could include to your POI what kind of levels they grabbed, whether they have IDs in order to match them with info box and with alerts, and upper lowercase, opacity, the size of the text. So it's like general parameters that we already mentioned a few times. So okay, let me choose like this. If you are using the style as a lines, you could adjust the line style by clicking this. Let me. You could see it, right? For many of you guys, it wouldn't be probably interesting to see all of those POIs. You know, for most of them would be like a garbage for you. And in order to show only those that you need, you want to go to settings and click on this filter button. So by this filter button, you could specify what significance of the POI you are interested in. You can see that we have a lot of variations here, but let's just play with it. Let's say I wanna see only those POIs that tests any FVGs. I just click on it and it's applied immediately. And you can see that I end up having only those POIs that tested any imbalances. For example, this POI tested this F2 imbalance, and this mitigation block made this full fill. This POI also grabbed some liquidity and tested this imbalance. If we go to look at two bullish scenarios, you also could see that this order block tested some imbalance here, and that's why it's shown here. Let me go back to the current price action. Let's say you want to see any POI that has any kind of sweep. Let's say. And you can see that it's shown only those POIs that grab some liquidity. So for example, this POI, this POI, this POI. Also, liquidity could be different. So instead of showing any liquidity, you could rely on like such kind of liquidity like grabs a fractal 5 pivot. So it means it grabs, let me activate it. Oops. So it grabbed only those pivots, only those liquidity that is based on fractal F5 pivot. Then, or let's say I want to grab it by swing. So it's any swing that could be on a chart. Or it could be just equal low, equal high, cascade liquidity, or it could be just a structural formation. So it's a swing that was used in a structural formation, like this, you know, they're all structural swings. And just swings, as you saw here, it's any swing that you could see on chart. So by playing with that, you could specify what POIs you want to see. They're working by or close. It means you could click some of them, and it will check whether your POI satisfies this condition, this. If you check all, it's the same as if you uncheck them all. So by unchecking them all, it shows everything. So the same thing would be, the same behavior would be if you check all of them. Okay, guys. I guess it's clear for now. In case if you have any question, feel free to ask us. And we will be looking forward to helping you. So see you in next video.